Hi, Joanne. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing fine, thank you. Yes.
So, what part of Almeria are you in?
So we're just back from the coast of Mojacar, Vera, Garrucha, sort of 20 minutes inland in the mountains. Small village called Bedar.
Okay, but you covered that whole area, yeah? The Mojacar down to the
We
coast and that?
yeah, we kind of cover sort of inland properties and then down to the coast, but there are a lot of agents on the coast. We kind of stay back from the coast a little bit,
Yeah,
but we
because
have got
Mojacar, I think if I remember correctly, is one of the agencies on the beach side, no?
a lot. Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so how did you just give me a little bit of background about yourself and about the agency? Where are you from? How long have you been here? Why did you set up an
Yeah,
agency?
we've actually been here 21 years this year. We came on holiday in the late 90s to about half an hour away from here. So that's how we got to know the area. And we basically, after several holidays, decided to move while the children were young enough to go to Spanish school, at the age of 1 and 3. So, yeah, we started the agency about 17 years ago, a very small village. I started on my own after another agent had closed and there was nobody kind of representing this area. So, started very small scale from home and it went from there. We are pretty much just resales. We're quite a small business. It's a husband and wife team and a very good office manager who works kind of covering. We've got 2 offices. So yeah, we did try to go into rentals a few years ago. It is a completely separate full-time business, and we decided better to do one properly than try and stretch ourselves over 2. So we stayed with resales.
Okay, so there's been a lot happening in the industry of always a lot happening in the industry, but certainly in the last year or so, both
Yeah.
challenges and opportunities. What would you say the biggest challenges are at the moment for your agency?
Okay, so our agency, we do sell to a lot of foreigners, obviously British. British market has really been hit due to the Brexit rules and regulations. The latest announcement from the Spanish Prime Minister has caused a few problems here, I would say, although it's just an announcement. And the proposal...
This is the 100% tax thing that's not
yes,
just about
100% tax.
Yeah.
It's caused us to lose a few sales, I must admit. Even though it's just at discussion stage, there's been a lot of podcasts from local business solicitors, architects, all saying their piece. They don't really think it's going to get passed, but it has scared a lot of the British and the non-EU buyers. So that Brexit has definitely affected our British market. However, luckily, we do sell to a lot of Dutch, Belgians, French, German. That market has increased over the last few years, I'd say, hugely.
Okay, and what about one of the things a lot of agencies have said is a challenge that has become a challenge since 2021 post COVID has been a shortage of inventory of listings. Is that an issue you guys have had as well, or not?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we have them. And normally, if somebody came to look at villas in and around our area, we'd probably have 15 or 20 to show them. We've probably got 3, 4.
Right.
It's had a massive impact. Yeah.
What's I mean, the prices, am I right in assuming the prices there are fairly competitive compared to the Costa del Sol and the Costa Blanca?
Yeah, absolutely. But it is still very affordable. So it's a good place to live if you don't want high bills and you want to be able to eat out and shop. It's still not really the prices of the other costas, but then probably because it hasn't got the infrastructure, it's still quite unspoilt. Nearest city is Almeria, which is fantastic, but it's not glitzy. It's a proper Almerian, it's a big city, but it has the old Moroccan quarter. It's fabulous, but it's a much more affordable area if you've got, if you can get a lot more for your money here, I'd say.
How have the property prices evolved over the last, since the last 5 years, say? Because everywhere else has sort of gone up a bit. Is it same there, or is this pretty much stayed steady?
It has gone up. It has gone up a bit, yes, but not hugely.
What can you just say as a ballpark figure? I know it depends, but what sort of starting prices could people expect to pick up? A villa in that area, in the Bedar area. What are we talking? Starting price?
Anything. Yeah, starting price is around sort of 300,000 euros. That would probably be something that needs a little bit of work. The villas that are really well presented and immaculate, 500 plus. But you're talking about a villa here with 10,000 square meters of land, uninterrupted sea views, garages, private pools, 4 or 5 bedrooms for that price. There's no building here. It's highly protected in this area. So that's also affected our, lack of product. There's nothing being built.
Am I right in assuming that in the more rural areas, it's mostly villas as opposed to apartments, or there are a lot of apartments as well?
No, it's mainly in our area, it's mainly villas, townhouses in the villages. The coast is obviously a lot more apartments, but we have less dealings with the coast. But slightly inland, yeah, it's villages with townhouses and villas, yeah, and courtiers.
Have you noticed since COVID more demand for people looking for a bit of space and tranquility, outdoor sort of rural living? Is that something you've noticed?
Yes, our busiest year ever in business was 2022. Spanish coming from the cities looking for properties with land, and a lot of foreigners again looking for that kind of property. Yeah,
And
people were desperate to escape, to get out.
I suppose if you're going to get stranded, you want to get stranded in your own space and comfort.
Yeah,
With good weather,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
as opposed to somewhere in Northern Europe or the UK. So, you've been there for a long time, so you've probably seen a lot of changes in the nationalities of the buyers, I would imagine. What am I right in saying that probably initially it was mostly Brits and now it's spread out to more nationalities? What have you seen over the last 4 or 5 years in particular, or last 10 years, if you say, in terms of changes to nationalities of people buying in your area?
yes, I would say obviously before Brexit, we had a lot of younger people coming in, starting businesses here. Obviously, that's very difficult now with visas and everything else. The British market has decreased, and we are selling to a lot more Belgians, Dutch, German, French. That market has grown hugely, I'd say, because obviously the ease with everything, with the currency, with not needing visas. These nationalities find this area in particular very affordable. That's changed hugely in the last, especially 5 years, and I think that might continue that way.
Hopefully. And we've certainly seen in some of the other coasts a bigger spread of nationalities, so not as much
Yeah.
reliance on one.
Yeah, it's a much more diverse group of people in the area, which is great. I think it's much better to have. It's been welcomed.
What would you say is the biggest misconception or that buyers have about your area, about that part of Almeria when they're looking to buy there?
I think due to some very bad press, probably about sort of 15 years ago, people are very worried about the legality of the properties here, especially the country properties. We get a lot of emails and pre-emails and questions before somebody will even come over. They're still worried about the property, the legality of the properties. I mean, it's so strict here now. Solicitors won't let anything go through without correct paperwork, but that still is a bugbear for overseas buyers.
Do you typically advise buyers to deal with a lawyer in the buying process?
Yeah, absolutely. Always. Yeah, always. We hold paperwork in the offices, but we're not legal experts. We can understand a Spanish deed, but the solicitors here do very thorough checks, that obviously we can't do. So we would advise always use a solicitor, always. Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody who's thinking of moving to Almeria at the moment?
With the announcement from the Prime Minister, the panic was that prices will possibly drop. It is a good time to buy here, possibly because of that. I would come out, check the area first, have a good drive around, because we're quite rural here. So I think, we do get questions like, how's the public transport? And then some of these places there is none. It's a good idea to come and check the area, stay for a few days. And then the normal things, get a solicitor, a good recommendation, a good reliable agent to show you around. And yeah, I think really have a look at the area first, because we cover quite a big area and there's a lot of driving between properties. And I think people sort of pick things off websites and think they're sort of 5 minutes apart and they can be over an hour apart, so it's quite good to come out and do some research really and get a feel for it before you sort of book lots of viewings, I'd say.
Would it be right to say that in Almeria, a lot of people perhaps don't appreciate just how much difference there is in terms of landscape? Because you go everything from beachside to deserts over there, don't you?
You have got the desert, you've got, you can be skiing in Granada in 2.5 hours and you can be on the beach on the same day. It's quite incredible, really. It's quite diverse. But I mean, there is a lot of inland area, which is stunning, very popular with cyclists and walkers here. It's quite unspoiled, to be totally honest.
What about transport? 'Cause I know that traditionally has a big impact on real estate markets in any area, and is normally linked to the availability of flights, which has always been a little bit of a challenge in the past at Almeria Airport. You have two airports within reach, haven't you? Well, tell me a little bit about that, sort of what availability
We've got,
there is.
yes, but is is 45 minutes from here to an hour. It's, it's very convenient, but obviously there aren't links all year. Obviously from London they're starting from Bristol in June, which are going to be carrying on all year. So they are beginning to open up channels. Murcia is just over the hour, which is more availability there. And then you do have Alicante as well, which is over 2 hours. But the roads are so quiet, it's a very, very easy journey. But there's a bus service here from all three. So if you haven't got a hire car and you want to get to the area, there's a very good bus service that you get on, which is a private company that collects from the planes and brings people here. And apart from that, we've obviously got the high-speed train coming to the area, hopefully soon. They're talking about, property prices really increasing. It's going to open up this area for the rest of Spain, really. But they're saying that the train line and the station, which is 20 minutes from us, will be finished in 2026. That's maybe
ambitious.
Maybe not, but it's definitely, they're working hard on it. So it will, the buzz in the area is it's gonna be a good impact. It's going to bring people from other parts of Spain who can have holiday homes here.
You've obviously been there for a long time and you know the area back to front. What are the hidden gems? If someone was looking to buy a property and they weren't really that picky about where exactly within your area, what would you say is one or two towns or villages that you think is really worth considering?
Well, I'm a bit biased because I've lived outside Bedar myself and the family for nearly 20 years. So this village kind of has it all. We feel it's a proper village with a town hall and a mayor and a cultural centre, everything. It's kind of one of everything, one bank, one supermarket.
Right. Is there an expat community in that area?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we do sell a lot of property around this village. There aren't any other agents here. We've kind of managed to keep it to ourselves a bit. We do work with we collaborate with a lot of agents on the coast, but they contact us for properties in this area. So it works quite well. It's our main hub of where we sell, I would say. But it's very popular with artists and cyclists, walkers. It's just beautiful. There's miners' walks, there's hills, there is uninterrupted views from the village. Every house seems to have a sea view, even if it's just a tiny speck. But it's worth traveling up the hill to come here. It's not that steep. The road's good, and there's loads going on in the village. Loads of craft things, book clubs, walking groups, pottery, art classes. It's a buzzy little village. It's a whitewashed village, and it's a kind of smaller version of Mojacar Pueblo, which is down on the coast, which is also stunning, absolutely fabulous, but gets a lot busier in the summer. It's more of a tourist destination. Yeah, the area is great. If you want to be 20 minutes in from the beach, but be able to see the sea and travel down when you want to. Yeah, I mean, eating out, a cup of coffee in our village. There's four good bars, all Spanish run, families that have had them forever. And the coffee in 20 years has gone from €1 to 1.30.
Right. So low inflation. That's fantastic. So Bedar, where your office is located, is your hot tip as something that people should be thinking about checking out.
It is a hot tip. Yeah, it's worth coming up if you like a kind of quiet life. But there's enough to do. You can dip in, dip out. There are cookery calls. There's loads going on if you want to. Great place to retire. Or the other option, people are coming here and working, remotely, which is a good option if you can do that.
Okay, that's great. Whereabouts in the UK are you from?
Originally from Somerset Way. I've still got a bit of you can hear it in my voice. I don't know if you know that, but it's obviously down the south. That's where all my family and cousins are. And my husband's from Wales. So, where it was beautiful again, but a bit too much rain.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. It's been so good speaking to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to tell us about yourself and Bella. It's our hot tip of the month.
Thanks very much.